And no.
No. Okay, there you are.
Oh, no, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first live event. And, well, you can see that we're socially distant here, and we've got a technician. So I think what we've got here is two guys who really don't know what they're doing, and one guy who does, who's running the technology. So but anyway, hello and welcome to everyone, if there's anyone out there. So to all two of our viewers, we're very happy to see you, or we can't see you, but I hope you can see us. And Father Duaine, Devereaux here, so if you're from the area, if you're from St. Anne's, you know me, and Deacon Shawn, Bigley. So we're coming out to everyone to say hello, and it's been a number of months now since we've been together, since we've been physically together. And we're hoping that this is going to be the first of now a series of live events that we're going to have. So this one is going to be short, and we hope sweet. That's right. As sweet as we can make it, anyway. We wanted to talk a little bit today about the whole online community. And
I love how you preface the video by saying we don't know what we're doing, and then we're going to give advice.
Well, and people that know us would say, well, what else is new? As somebody once said, not knowing anything about the subject doesn't seem to stop you from talking about it. So that's kind of where we are now. So first of all, you know, I want to say to people who are tuning into our YouTube on Sundays, Saturday and Sunday, that we're very happy. We're happy that we're able to do that. And again, I want to thank Deacon Shawn and his daughter Kayla, who's our technical crew, and it's certainly a way of helping us connect with you. But we want to talk about a little bit about some of the online resources, some of the stuff that I'm using some of this stuff personally, and I know you are too. And Deacon Shawn is much more technical than I am. So if any of the stuff I'm talking about or the resources that I'm using, I kind of put that under the rubric of if I can figure this out, if I can do it, if I can use it, then it's very user-friendly.
You're in the bar.
Exactly. and it's set very low. So take courage, everyone.
And don't worry about taking notes. Anything we mentioned today and much more we will post on our Facebook page.
This is recording.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll post it, and this video will be stored, and we'll try to disseminate it as best we can.
Yes, exactly. So I guess it was being recorded. So I guess this is going to live on forever
In posterity. If that haircut will live on.
This lack of haircut, but anyway.
I can say that now because I got that.
Yeah, I know. This is coming on Wednesday. So long after we have disintegrated into dust,
Shuffled off our mortal coil.
this will live on in cyberspace. So
And we apologize to future theologians everywhere.
future generations now have our apologies. So, but anyway, well, I'd like to talk about a few of the things. One, there's an app that I use pretty well every day, and it's called Pray As You Go. And it's an app that's actually put together and run by the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits in Ireland, I think. It's either England or Ireland, but anyway, and it has a number of different resources. One, there's a meditation for every day. So they do a little bit, it's about a 12, 15-minute kind of meditation every morning, or I usually do it in the morning. You can do it any time of day, obviously, it's online. A little bit of music, reflective music, and then one of the scripture readings for Mass for the day, either the Gospel, first reading, sometimes the Psalm. A bit of a guided reflection, we do the reading again. But there are all kinds of other resources on there. There's some mini retreats. There's the help with the consciousness examen, St. Ignatius, and that's one that I find is very good. One that I've discovered recently is from the monks at Glenstall Abbey, also in Ireland. And they have a website, and again, we'll post all this and all these links. And
Whoever thought when monasteries were created that they would have Facebook pages and live streaming and not exactly the solitude that...
Well, that's true. But you being a graduate of my history course, you will remember that in the Middle Ages, monasteries were the seat of learning and innovation. Not the least of which was developed in monasteries, double entry bookkeeping. So shout out to all of you accountants.
We're getting a thumbs up from a viewer, so apparently
okay.
We have at least one.
we have exceeded our goal by 100%. We have three viewers. Wow, we have an embarrassment of riches.
Joe Rogan, watch out. We're coming for you, Joe.
That's it. The Glenstall Abbey, the website is very good because one of the things that is associated with monks, of course, is the Liturgy of the Hours. And they do it live, but they also post all the Liturgy of the Hours for all of the hours of the day. And if you put it up on your screen, on your monitor, even on your phone, you just sort of close your eyes. You can pray along with them. You can pray the Liturgy of the Hours along with them. The benefit, of course, of it being in Ireland is that they're 4 hours ahead of us. So their morning prayer is already posted, so people are getting up. That's a good one. There's another, a lot of these run by the Jesuits, God in All Things. And that's not a Jesuit site. I can't remember if it is or it isn't. But anyway, it's very good. Again, it seems to me it's Jesuit because that's hallmark of spirituality, St. Ignatius, finding God in all things. So, Shawn, what about you? You have some there.
You mentioned evening prayer. I use two things in conjunction with each other. One is iBreviary, which is a great little app, especially if you struggle with trying to figure out how to use the book version of the Divine Office. But so every evening I use my phone. I know, shout out to Father Bedford. I know 4 years of teaching me how to use the book, completely wasted because now I use the app. But that's okay. And we use an online streaming service. Now there's all kinds of them. There's Zoom and Google has a platform and Microsoft Teams. And the one we're using, because it's simple to use, is called House Party, and myself and my wife and 3 other deacons and their wives get together every evening to do evening prayer. And it's a way for us to stay, even in these kind of isolated times, a way to stay connected. And the ironic thing is that they live all over the diocese, and we weren't getting together regularly before this. Now we are. So it's something, just because we're, like, I guess the point I want to make with a bit of a ramble there is that just because this isolation may end, some of these things we're talking about today, these aren't just for this isolation. These are good things to do going forward. There's all kinds of, like we record our Mass here and we've uploaded it to YouTube, but you can literally find Masses from all over now. And if you want to watch the Pope's daily Mass is on there, the weekly Mass is on there. Check with your parish if you're not a member of St. Anne's. But if you're a lot of parishes are now either doing it Facebook Live, like this event, or this is big enough to be called an event.
Well, it's at least a happening.
A happening. Okay, that's probably a more accurate term.
Yeah.
So I mean, and again, monasteries and some. I mean, the wonderful thing about this is most of these resources are free, which fits into almost any budget. So if you have an internet connection and a web browser, you can take advantage of most of these resources, and they're absolutely spectacular. I reconnected with some people because of the masses we put on, people that grew up coming to this church that have moved away to various parts and have reconnected with the parish through this.
Yeah.
So if you're away and you're part of St. Anne's, we certainly welcome you tuning back in every week for Mass. Or if you're not, if you're displaced from here, check out your home parish. Maybe they are streaming.
Yeah, and that's something good that you mentioned, that everything that I've talked about, I've only talked about a couple, but they're all free. And that's usually my number one criteria for using an app or anything else is that it's free. So it fits pretty well in the budget as long as you're shelling out for either an internet connection or data plan. You could do that. One of the things that I wanted to mention too are podcasts. And again, I would use myself as the bar, which I would set very low. I know podcasts, and you'll see on the thing that we're going to post that shows all this. They talk about iTunes and people use that. Am I allowed to talk about an app? I guess so.
I already talked about iBreviary.
Yeah, okay, and iBreviary is great. Just going to say that because everywhere I go now that I have my phone, I have the breviary. So even if I'm waiting in the garage to get my tires changed, I can do the liturgy of the hours while I'm sitting in the waiting room.
And if anybody out there doesn't know what we're talking about, feel free to reach out. That is a wonderful way to pray. And basically, you're praying the Psalms every day, and it's set up. Some of you may know it as lauds and vespers and those wonderful terms you used to hear about the bygone era, as they say.
Yeah.
Now it's morning, evening, afternoon. But feel free to reach out to either one of us. I think we'd gladly, if you want to learn what it is and how to pray it.
And I think in a previous generation, priests and religious, people would talk about, Father saying his office, and that's kind of what we're talking about. But it's not by any means something that's meant exclusively for priests or religious. It's really
you'll hear about the prayer of the church.
Yeah, it's a prayer for anyone. But I wanted to mention podcasts. I use an app called Podcast Addict, but there are several very good Catholic podcasts, at least that I found, and one is from Boston College, obviously in Boston, and Church in the 21st Century Institute, and they have literally dozens of podcasts. Now it hasn't updated for a long time, but there's more than enough material to keep people occupied with some rather famous contemporary theologians on all kinds of different subjects, and that's what I would recommend. Again, I don't know. I guess I'm highly influenced by the Jesuits, the Society of Jesus, probably because I've had a number of Jesuit spiritual directors in my life. But the America magazine, which is a publication in the United States by the Society of Jesus, they had a podcast for a number of years now. They have put that podcast, but all back, whatever you call them, back issues are all available. And again, quite good. But they started a new one a number of months ago, and it's called Jesuitical, and it's aimed at younger people, and it's hosted by younger people, but even people who are young at heart, can find and it's very good stuff, and I'm impressed by some of these younger people who are not professional theologians, but their depth of understanding and they take on some contemporary things in the news, and there are lots of them. I just because I'm kind of a nerd, I follow a number of different podcasts, history podcasts and stuff like that. And, those also some tackle religious issues, that kind of thing.
I'm going to give a shout out to a local podcast, the Atlantic School of Theology, my alma mater. And Dr. Dean runs a podcast of ASP, and it's a little different than some of the others because it takes on some of the local issues, right? So the Catholic Church in Nova Scotia and some of the issues we're dealing with, and a broader context too. It's a very wide sweeping podcast, but it's very good. Another one, if you're kind of nerdy, but like beer, Pints with Aquinas is another great. They go into the teachings of Thomas Aquinas, but they do it with a little bit of lighter look at it. But sometimes you mentioned sumo theological to people, and their eyes immediately start to close, right? Where they look at that with a little bit of a lighter take on it, and still cover it. So no matter, I guess the point is, no matter what you're interested in, there's probably there's a Catholic show podcast that runs out of, I think it's San Francisco, but it's out in California somewhere, which is a lot of again, they cover a lot of issues that affect Catholics in the 21st century, but they do it with a little bit of fun. So regardless of your topic and or your whether you're a nerd, of course I've been accused of that more on several occasions myself, or you just want some entertainment and want to learn some Catholic theology along the way. There's all kinds of stuff out there. We will post the link to a lot of the stuff we talked about today, but it is no way a comprehensive list. So we have an ask for you. If we haven't mentioned something and it's not on the list, let us know. Because one thing, if you've watched more than 10 seconds of this, you've already figured out that we are certainly not experts on this. We are two guys that are figuring a lot of this stuff out on our own. And we just wanted a couple things today. One is let you know you're not alone. We're all in this together. And that we're trying to figure this out too. And we want you folks to let us know. And that goes for our mass. If you've got some sort of technical expertise that might help us out, we are in no way saying that we are experts on any of this.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. We're living through this the same as everybody else, and trying to figure it out. And it's one of these things that changes pretty well daily. Sometimes in the middle of the day. I guess part of it is just trying to say, here we are. We're trying to be with you. And I just want to say, I know we're all longing for the day that we can come back together. I certainly am, and missing everyone. But I just have to reiterate what everyone's saying. We have to do it safely. And of course, you mentioned Thomas Aquinas, and you can read in Aquinas, the whole notion of common good, and that's where we are with this. So,
we talked about?
Well, we're talked out for the moment. As you can tell, Deacon Shawn and I,
we said we were going to do this for 10 minutes, and when we said that to Liz, who anybody that knows his parish, Liz is the line-suffering brains of this outfit.
Exactly.
We pray for us all because we're the looks, right?
Which just tells you how much trouble
we're really in.
Yes.
Liz is actually the looks and the brains of this outfit. And when we told her we were going to do this for 10 minutes, she laughed. And I think she quickly realized, we can't say hello in 10 minutes. We both have the curse of the Gaelic. We will not use one word when 10 will do.
So, but I think I think we've more than exceeded our quota here this morning. So we want to say
Liz is in the back going.
Yeah,
shut up.
Cut. So anyway, thanks if you're watching this. If you liked it, that's great. If you didn't, we're sorry.
But that's not going to stop us from doing it again.
Yeah, exactly. We're remembering all of you, and we're praying for you. So please, we're separated physically, but mind and heart, we're still all together. So God bless everyone, and until next time. That's your warning. Okay.
And shout out to Jason, my
Yeah.
son, who's our technical department.
Technical.
As you can see, nepotism reigns here in our technical department.
There you go. Bye, everyone.
Great. So that went okay? Oh, it's still going.
Well, there's a delay.
Yeah.